is where we're going to see the switch, but I have to anticipate there is a switch somewhere. Going into this, it's not necessarily been the strongest map for Core and Gomps. How are we feeling about the matchup with the agent? But
You know, this is interesting because we have obviously seen Sage be played, not necessarily by Core though, especially like throughout their duration so far within Challengers. So to bring out the Sage for Darkest, I do genuinely like this. I've seen Darkest play Sage a long time ago. So it is nice to kind of bring this back out, especially with the Chamber. But what worries me is Timotino was so reactive the last time they played on a map like Icebox against Envy, right? So it's also another factor of, are they going to be able to really just ridicule and put this duelist down?
I'm so curious. I'm so interested. I mean, you see the changes here for Sage in the Chamber. Before Core were playing that standard composition with the KO as well. Nerve, I know he's lighting up a little bit, but it's because last time that they played this map, Kess was still part of the team. So it's been that long since they played it. They're gonna continue playing with the Sova. But for the Chamber, especially starting on attack, I'm so curious to what are the things that they're going to be doing. Do they have a read on how TSM likes to get a little bit more aggressive? It was something that they were doing yesterday, especially towards Yellow. You see a fight of 4 players towards Yellow, trying to get a read into where that attacking set play was going to come from. But it's definitely not what I was expecting. I feel like we've seen Chamber played in a few maps as of recent, but this map of Icebox is not one of them.
I'm so intrigued here. I love that Core is switching things up, and we've talked about the aggression of the duelists, and even if Alum is on the Chamber instead of a duelist, you know, the pseudo duelist, I'm so curious with what aggression Alum can take here and be able to just pressure into this match. So going into this lower final, a big switch up of Core with so much on the line. I love the change. Time to see if it's one that's going to pay off, as our map is ready and so are our casters. So let's get to it and head over to Uber and Wyatt to take you through Icebox.
Thank you very much for that preamble, Sierra, and the desk. We've got Sage and Chamber here in this lineup, of course, going without the Killjoy. And no turret or alarm bot, at least they can supplement that lack with the trademark to watch those sort of flanking routes. Wyatt River on the call with me. What's going on, brother? All done with your travels?
What's going on? Yeah, we're back. We're back, and I've saved you. You no longer have to cast with Van Silly, Mitch. I know you're so grateful to see me.
It was quite pleasant, honestly. He's actually nice to me, so it was a bit weird, to be honest. Like, I'm always on my guard, and yeah, maybe I went too hard on Vans as a result of that. But you know what? He can take it. He's a good one. Mate, I have never seen a more disgusting performance in Challenges, I think, outside of Prime Kane Zero than what we saw from Timotino and Icebox yesterday. 480 ACS.
Yeah, no, it's disrespectful. You can't be putting up numbers like that.
I mean, yeah, not even close. Obviously, a 13-1 against a Cubit Academy, who we felt were relatively proficient at that map. And for Core, it's been like 8 weeks since they've played this. You've noticed, obviously, you know, big changes to their composition for obvious reasons.
And
It's been a hot minute since then.
Yeah, I'm a fan. They were just running the default comp before. Time to move away from that. The Sage win rate for this map is pretty obscene, but Timotino is going to make it look a little bit worse, possibly, if he just repeats what happened yesterday.
Just picking up where he left off. That is absurd. Yeah, I mean, look, TSM's comp need to fight for this space on the B side after the Viper wall, whereas, you know, Core want those safer plants, but if you get cut to the quick like this, and if you have strong yellow presence, then you're not going to be able to get onto the site. I mean, they should thank the bloody lucky stars that Darkest wasn't the one that fell in that first encounter. But this is taking quite some time. Dark cover and poison orb being used here just to stall, and eventually Core have got to go for it.
Yeah, all they've really got to deal with GMD is going to be a recon, and, well, he does feel pressured out enough to swing into a couple players, go down. So Plant should be relatively free. It's a nice pick from across the map.
Oh, look at this. 7 is not giving them any space, no time to work with. TSM keep just stepping up here at inopportune moments as far as Core are concerned, and as much as Alum has done across the rest of the map, 7 is tearing them apart. They're going to have a defuse. Alum can't do anything about it. And, all right, TSM pistol. These guys are a little different like that, I'm not going to lie.
That was a fortunate second shot from 7, I would say. Likely unintentional, if I had to guess, but respect. That was pretty insane. Core were looking really good there. Everything that they would have needed to have done to close out this pistol Well, it was going well until this, you know, it also, to give Seven some credit, placing that dark cover there as well to isolate the planter, that was a heads-up little move. So he's, you know, kind of guaranteed to get that one. But mental second shot.
Yeah. This comp is really designed, obviously, with that double controller to fight in those isolated pockets and try and catch some of those individuals out. But what I'm liking is just how proactive TSM have been. They kind of, to some degree, gamble on that A side a little bit more here. So Gimon is the solo player over at B and sees a Viper wall come up. And that's pretty arbitrary. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. But Core, they force him to a outlaw for Darkest. And he will match up pretty well against all but Gimon and Vora. Timo, swing. Okay. Not sure how that didn't quite properly fell. Darkest, he was armored up. Down to 10.
Can bring himself back up a little bit if he wants to heal himself. And he does. Wall's about to be placed so they can try to get a safe plant going. But all of TSM are here. That wall's going to be dealt with very quickly. But GMD not ready for the swing.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be ready for the fight if you're going to try and break that wall down. Looks like the ping on Darkest. He walks away. No plant get. Plant was killed.
Oh, 7 saw the barrel of the classic there. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I worry about what we saw yesterday and the fact that today's looking, well, it's Groundhog Day so far. TSM looking sublime on this map. Obviously convert that round nicely with an outlaw force by Core. So they're going to have to go it again in this round. A little bit of a more humble full buy for their round 3 as that little force up doesn't pay off.
That man, Timotino, is putting up some pretty obscene stats across the playoffs, like an average 290 ACS, just crazy activity. And we saw like the flashes of brilliance, I feel like, throughout the past year of watching him play on various Challengers squads, but hadn't gotten the consistency going. And seems like maybe with TSM, with a couple experienced players around him, he's starting to find that.
It's actually going to be 7 as well playing that gen position at the start of this round. Core invest heavily in full armor here. That leaves Alamoni with the Headhunter and Darkest with the Stinger. Your economy gets a bit funky if you make that second round force. So that also softens the bonus up a little bit as far as TSM are concerned. Being able to convert here and get that, geez, get 3 rounds on the board. And a great econ lead early on defense is massive. And Alvin Boy knows. Does he show himself to the turret here?
Okay, oh my God, that was a headshot through the wall. That's crazy.
Yeah, bro feeling a little bit unsteady after that one. He's pulled out of tube entirely. So that's that mid-presence stymied for the time being for Core. And they are very slow when they're pushing towards the A side. But Timo just overextends and will be punished. That's the outlaw down. It's unrecoverable here for Alum, who is a little bit underarmed.
That is an exchange between number 1 and number 2 in the playoffs. ACS overall. Alum has been going crazy as well. Alvin now feeling in the mid-round that he has to do something proactive to wrangle this back for TSM, and he's going to be able to get that initial kill, but you know, not without Logan trading with some spam, getting one on GMD across the map to maintain an advantage for Core. Should be able to close this out easily from this point on, honestly. They still have these, you know, additional dark covers to cycle as well.
Yeah, calling it a little on the early side. Okay, so the wall is broken up a little bit. Albin's actually ready for Darkest. Oh, that's a pretty dirty recon. It would have had Logan's head turn, but he's going to take the fight instead. 7 wins it out, but now 1 versus 3. Seen him get these, but he just doesn't have the time to cut through the remainers of Core. So a good start with a couple important picks. Again, it's Alum creating something over on that A side of the map. But it's an early death for Gimon. This time playing more passively back towards Snowman that opens the way.
Yeah, I think he just got unlucky. That was just some spam through the dark cover, I want to say, unless there was like a slight timing window where, you know, he was waiting for it to bloom and gets caught or something like that. But credit to Alim, this was really the crucial moment in the round, finding that opener and then Core pivoting back towards this B site, just being able to throw down the dark covers. When the wall drops, dark cover phase, wall goes up, easy B plant. They've got a ton of great utility for that site, I will tell you that. Just being able to throw up the Sage wall, and then you have all those smokes. It's very tough for the defending team.
I still can't believe that stat, Wyatt. The 290 ACS over the course of playoffs. I think, like, fantastic performances in America's VCT is like 220. And 190 to 230 is just insane. So, yeah, Timo's been throwing haymakers at everybody so far. And he has some backup here. Gimon actually going to open it for him, so a better start to the round for him. But Logan's just going to be res back up. Gimon might try and get involved and punish that res, but instead goes down to 5.
He has to retreat back B. Another opportunity, I think, where Core can get a very, very easy plant on this B site if they want to. They can slow things down here in the mid round. Wait to get some of that charge back on the wall. Logan's got 2 smokes to play with. Actually going to teleport all the way. Sticks it, commits A. Starts throwing smokes down here. Yeah, Core trying to run some kind of crazy mid-round fake. No one from TSM are actually rotating off to this A site, though.
30 seconds
Alvin
left.
is too far forward. He's seen no one cross, so I don't think TSM are convinced by this. And dude, Alum is, goddamn, early on in this game, huge on that part of the map. Playing like a KJ and just picking up these frags. Juicy there for a trade. Sivan actually finds his second there as the Icebox comes down. Nerve's going to be right there, and Vora's about to get crunched on in a moment. Logan's coming at him from mid, and he only has so much time. Wall brought down, and Alum just doesn't miss right now. Core looking very, very good, and TSM don't get to run rush shot over these guys.
It was genuinely, again, so pivotal that Alum gets that kill. It's back-to-back rounds where I think he gets the highest impact frag of the round. Core, it seemed like they were going to overplay this situation. Over on that B site, GMD and 7, all of a sudden, they can take a fight against less players than you would assume would normally be, though. There was a real shot that they would have won that out. And imagine if Alum goes down in mid. Very dangerous situation for Core, but they make it out alive.
Guys, Bolt comes in, though, so this Hunter's Fury from Nerve in response just to stave off any reprisal from TSM. And Timo's already down. Much less successful in the early rounds after going like 10-1 in first kill, first death, I want to say, over that previous series. This is looking very clean from Core. And this is kind of what has enabled them to go on this run, so to speak. And Winthrop are not happy to see this, I'm sure. Alum will remain here. Of course, being able to get back to the rendezvous should he have to. This is a strong position to hold on that A side of the map. TSM already pulled out here, so they're kind of cottoning on a little bit to this mid-rounding from Core. But a safe play, but that Sage Wall in play will allow for a plant, and even a snake bite deters anyone pushing up.
Real nice to be able to have Alum just control that side of A almost entirely, and then mid as well. He has been crucial, just in the map control game even. And Core can just keep pivoting back to B, where again, it's the util they have being so effective there. Wow, nice from Darkus. I mean, this is so far a very good game plan. I like what Core are doing. They're making the most of this comp.
I mean, a lot of the momentum they're generating is just thinning the numbers out on that early A sort of encounter every single time. Now, that was a Hunter's Fury that, didn't exactly light up the world, but to play off the back of it, that early pick on Timo here is he just walks up, tries to get into jail a little bit early on. You see TSM pretty proactive in these early rounds. That's sort of been emblematic of their play so far. Core are kind of ready for it. And, yeah, strong showing. I'm not really sure what happened with the slow orb from Darkus at the start of that round. I think that ended up at the feet of Alum, but again, plenty in place here for Core to win these early round engagements.
TSM are trying to put a little bit more emphasis on B-main, or at least Timotino by pressing up. Nerve just shows himself with the tracers.
Yeah, for a split second. That has opened things up here at B. Much more proactive.
And now TSM, they definitely don't need to be too, steadfast in their fighting here on this A site. They can give some of this space up. War is in a lot of danger, but fortunate to get another so they can, play out this retake with man advantage.
He's done about 220 damage there, Wyatt. I really feel like that's got to be enough. That allows for Alvin to scoop up Alum pretty comfortably. Spike over on the default plant location. So Logan has to cross past here. Alvin making sure no one's pushing out at them. It'll be Rafter's presence, and Kimoni's on Overwatch, so very, very difficult for Logan to extricate much value from this round. Might at least get a longer range 1 versus 1 against Gimon if he wants to take it, but for all intents and purposes, he's trapped here.
30 seconds
GMD
left.
simply needs to do nothing, just contain towards that orb. TSM are just passively watching everything exactly as they need to be doing.
I have the spike.
And then
This makes it pretty clear.
yeah, they can begin to just close in when he sticks the plant in that dark cover, and all she wrote. Credit to Vora for coming up with a couple kills. And TSM, they definitely took a more, I don't know, confident, brawly decision in fighting on that A side, especially given that Vora has that Hunter's Fury. They're in the 5v4. They could have tried to just pull off the site, go for a flood back in when the spike is being tapped. They opt to try and anchor heavily, and that works out for them well. So
again, it's only paranoia for the attack side here. So TSM probably feeling a little bit more confident in this kind of anchoring, excuse me. Vora back a site, and obviously just behind 4-10-7 was able to play. So
crazy shot.
I think he was very low. I think that Vora already lit him up a little bit there. So
yeah, just unnecessary headshot for style points. Respect. Timotino is posting up close on B main again. I like this adjustment from TSM, putting a lot of emphasis on B main. Corbin finding their success finishing with those B hits late. So control this space, fight for it, make Core use a lot of their util to get through this part of the map if they're really trying to finish on that B side again.
Even more aggressive posturing on the B side of the map with 7 up on top of green. And Alan with a tour de force in hand this round is just holding that closer angle. So 7 here has gained a lot of map control with this audacious positioning, and there were TSM players set up for trades. They've actually started to drift across the map a little bit more. So a lot of eyes on mid. Feel like Dimon has a lot on his plate here if there's going to be a cross. Timo feeling like this is the timing where there's actually a play for A, and he's a couple seconds too early.
Looks for a moment like GMD wanted to get proactive there in B main. Not going to do it. Timotino will certainly have an opportunity to hit a shot, and does. Him is so fast with a kill on a GMD, however.
Oh, dangerous. Timotino misses the shot and is punished as a result of it. Adam, I think, made a flip correction vertically there over at green to find that kill on 7. Hunter's Fury, Darkest had nowhere to go. Clear to Vora that he was trying to climb up on top of Crows, but there is a plan to now fall back to these A positions. TSM at least able to get him behind this lockdown though, when Tuzi just stuck in jail. Swing, yeah, it comes. You might at least able to take the trade. Tuzi low, but Alum now is getting involved. The tour de force hits. Vora's got to give this one a tap in a 1v3. Nerve and Alum healthy enough, and these tour de force shots, yeah, they're not missing at all. Another sick round from Alum. Once again, opening things up on a different part of the map, and then returning to claim the round.
Yeah, he's been really fantastic at just controlling whatever part of the map he's being sent off to as that loose end, while the rest of the pack go for their execute. Lovely shot there onto 7. And I think ultimately, you know, on this side of the map where TSM are sacked up defending, they don't really choose between fighting hard for the site, going in with Timotino, who's committing to taking more shots with the op, or just backing off and playing for retake after he has his, and they have the Hunter's Fury lockdown.
This narrows things down, doesn't it? God! Alum just catches Timo on the edge of his hitbox. That's enough to down him in one shot. That's an op clattering to the ground in mid. And an attempt to recover it here for 7. He's actually smoked that angle off and go in there and try and get the weapon back. In the meantime, Core not necessarily accelerating into B. It allows Alvin here to set up, and above him is Vora. So a high-low setup in place. Expect that Viper Wall, though, to obscure Alvin's vision. He might even try and swing it with Vora. Tick-tock for Core.
I like that CSM are trying to do something aggro there, you know, rather hoping the fights come their way. They need to find a pick, so they're going to open face for that high-low, and now 7 wants to get really deep with this operator. Drone posting him up on the angle. What a shot.
And that's a huge confirmation. Viper on this side of the map. The rest of Core lined up behind them. Now their options are limited. Do they run into the pit of the A side of the map without, I guess, the sort of sufficient util to clear it outside of what Sova has? Vora finds a good timing on this one. This is going to slow things up a little bit more. And wow, that's a lot of pings, a lot of info. Darkest has got to go for it now. Wall thrown down. This time across the way. Darkest still gets caught out though, and Vora is controlling this space from up above. 7 missed the first op shot, but it's good for the second. And, well, takes a very close engagement against Alum, who sees a shoulder from Vora. There'll be a double swing. Should end him. Nice rendezvous work here. But there's no time left in the round to get the plan, and Alvin gets cheeky to try and recover a weapon. So an expensive round to win for TSM, but still 4 on the defense side.
Oh my god, I was convinced he was getting that last one as well. Alum can't win the round out, but he does a crazy amount of damage and recovers the op. So even in TSM's victory, look at what they're left with. He is on fire at the moment. But big credit to TSM, who, after losing that initial player, are continuing to try to find ways to even things up in the round. They have that high-low setup, then they throw the op to 7, drone him to get on the line. They're not just letting Core enact their game plan, you know, despite losing that player. They're hunting to even things up and to find advantages themselves. So credit to that mid-round play.
Once again, Timo's pushed up the jail side. This time not caught crossing either. And we know he can smeag him. He can updraft if he should choose to, but likely just stay tucked. Some Logan, because he has from the shadows, ready will be the insert, but he has been spotted out. So TP's back and has to just leave. This is very insightful, I think, for TSM. And Alvin has the diet milk angle. Tara watching the pick up. Oh god, that first shot, if only it hits. That's rough for Alvin. No damage taken by Core in taking that part of the map. Now TSM are trying to respond quickly. They can hear each other though, and Gimona's already set up. This is big. That's one. And that's all he's going to have for the time being. Darkus tops himself back up, and it's off to the B side. A lot of control of this part of the map for Core.
TSM's way back into the round as if Logan wasn't looking in the right direction at the right time. Timotino gets a free kill, shoots him in the back. Navora has a recon for this retake to be activated off the backup. Still smokes from 7 as well. Alum wants to play in front of it.
Darkus walled off kitchen. So based. Now, there's a bit of a timer here. Alum tries to get around the corner. There's going to be a backstab. I like that push up from Alum. Tries to take eyes off Darkus, but he actually loses out in that trade. Flick is good. My goodness, Timo trying to get to the edge of the smoke. And a missed shot on Vora will give him another chance. Nerve going to get pressed on here, but somehow there's no awareness there for 7 that Nerve is sat in that position. It's TSM unable to push up and reclaim yellow.
This B play from Core is really just stunning. It's excellent the way that they're working the map. They're just mixing in that big split through kitchen, a round that they have not attempted before in this half. Unfortunate for Alvin, he doesn't get any. They get this fast trade onto GMD. But then, yeah, from there, it's Alum being confident enough to fight forward, which allows Darkus an opportunity to flank. TSM feel pressured to have to go forward. They're surrounded on all sides. And when they're going forward, they're walking into an op line. Some really lovely play. TSM are thrown onto the eco.
Well, this is quite assertive.
No charges.
Good lord.
What?
Not what you want to see. Core.
What? I don't. Well, I mean, just no good reason he should be getting through there. But all right.
Okay.
I mean, all of Core are ready on that side of the map to absorb aggression. Unlucky.
And we've seen a couple of variations of that look from TSM. The play up on green. That though, that's something. That's a little different. All right, well, Nerve is going to have confirmation on what he probably already knew, is that all King's horses and them are over at B. And of course, with Vora now. Bear in mind that trademark is in place. So again, Killjoy-esque flank detection is still in play for Alum.
Yeah, I in no way doubt Core's abilities to close out this 2 versus 3, especially with Alum alive right now.
30 seconds left.
Here's the plan.
Spike planted.
Timotino is so weak.
Massive angle. Not covered. Nerve is able to win that fight out down a very nice amount of health. And this is a bit more awkward now for TSM. Alvin has got a rifle to hand though, so he does walk past the killing field. And we saw earlier on the round, gets himself an upgrade. Vora though, not so much. Recon here doesn't yield any information as Nerve and Alum playing a little bit separately, but that snowman position's about to be taken up and Alvin has no armor. Nerve, though, staying tucked. Ready here to zap whoever tries to get over towards the spike. It's Vora. Very low after that one. That should do him in. Oh, Nerve down. Vora cleverly moves away. Already got it to half an hour. He's got no health, no time, no nothing. Just a diabolical bloody round from TSM. What a Thrifty.
Yeah, I can't believe they've just pulled that one out. Timotino just activates individually, goes crazy in main. that's just about it. Like, what the hell, man? How is he able to get away with 2 Sheriff headshots, not being traded out? I do not know. He's just kind of on fire.
Goodness. Yeah, Alum able to break them out there, but the damage is well and truly already done. 3 players lost, and that's classy for Vora. He just gets ahead of that shock dart. First one was a direct hit. Okay, Tour de Force once more in play because QOR are a little low on fundage. Couple, or rather, the Guardian for Logan in play. From the Shadows for info, traded out by 70. He's a fair bit of it. Alvin going to be able to win things out over towards Snowman. That's that Omen TP position now denied. Alum pushed up with his Tour de Force and the back was turned. Kimond not ready for that at all. Darkest though down to the Hunter's Fury. Still no plant. Nice shot from Timo. This is going to make it a little uncomfortable. Even with that Sage Wall in play, it's a very costly plant for QOR. A player down, 2 players down, in fact. And Tuzi's trying to take matters into his own hands. He knows there's 2 players over towards that Snowman position, and he's ducked 7 out of mid as well. Nerve and Tuzi make it interesting, but it's up to Nerve to do something about this now. The dark cover's going to break it up, but TSM are ahead of that shock dart. Overhead we go, and a whip around. Timotino loses his life for it, but Vora is still able to get the job done. 6 defense side rounds for TSM.
There was some insane stuff going on there. QOR just pull this crazy fast execute out of the strat book with the Omen from the shadows all the way back to Snowman, but then 7 uses his to spot the Omen, so Alvin knew that Logan had teleported there. That was a pretty crazy exchange. Honestly, I'm surprised that Tuzi didn't rip that Viper's Pit to try and win it out. I mean, I guess just feeling like it's, you know, a wiser decision to save it for this final round. But maybe that could have turned the tide if they really wanted to be bold in that 2 versus 4.
Interesting turret there. The TSM, oh, there's the opener. That's tough for Alum. He'll be rolled back, well and truly. Obviously, this time, Sans armor. Vora and 7 up mid. The latter having taken a smack load of damage early on in this round. Looking to fight for this space pretty doggedly. Now, it's a matter of timing, though. They've now turned tail and given up some of this real estate.
Last couple rounds, Timotino has been besting Allen. But Nerve is so ready on that angle. Just nothing as far as util being used for TSM to post up Timotino, and is heavily punished for it.
Alum inching forward. Early in this half, doing so well early on the A side. Conditioning TSM to be a bit safer.
Really looks like one of those early rounds where he's controlling A late through mid. QOR are able to go for a B execute, but you know, this time, in contrast to those earlier rounds, they want to go back to A where they have rarely finished. But Alum,
30 seconds left.
Maybe hearing Alvin leaving the site, got an audio cue, and
here's it now.
I mean, they've also to some extent conditioned TSM with that, right? They're always finishing B when that was the play, so see if TSM try to get back in fast.
I think Alvin wanted to fight in the site. Big damage though on the planter and killed. Nicely done for Alvin. 7 just dives in. Again, whatever he can do to delay the plant, he's happy with. TSM eyeing off a 7th round here, but it's far from done. Vora, what was the second? Shorty in hand, and it gets employed to great effect. But every reason to be happy with that one. 7 defense side rounds here for TSM. Even though they couldn't really get into the site early, it was planted so that they could be sprayed down from Boiler.
No one with their eyes on screens there. Going with this safe plant. I don't think they really got that pit down fast enough. Could have gone a little bit deeper into the site.
This was
unfortunate. that pit just not getting the intended value there. Coming a little bit late. Wasn't used on that last round where I think it maybe could have been as well. I'm surprised, honestly, that TSM get away with the lead in this half. QOR were looking so good after TSM's pistol round win, but it really just comes down to Timotino on that eco round with the Sheriff. Walks down B main, gets that 2K, and the momentum completely shifts from there. You know, in the subsequent 2 rounds, best of limb in the AWP duel.
Well, such like insistence by QOR on that attack side AWP. There's a couple rounds where Alum has to go without it. I definitely feel his absence. Timo's got to swing a little wide. Just unaware that Logan actually got off that line, and it's free. It's so free for TSM. Tino, 2 kills off the rip. Core now, it's awkward. Nerve quite low, and Seven's going to put him out of his misery. A disastrous pistol. And Alum, good as he's been, it's the early rounds, not the late rounds he's conquered so far. And that Headhunter, yeah, not going to get application this round.
Timotino just swings out at this moment where the core players were not able to post up on the right angles because of that dark cover that was on 410. Darkest just ends up being totally exposed on lower. Very unfortunate. And those were some sick shots. But Timotino is just white hot this whole playoff run.
And, you know, he's had some uncanny timing. You know, I do want to chalk up like 95% of what he's doing just because he's cracked, but some of the stuff he's been able to get away with, just the game sense or just the intuition for what windows he might have, just cracked so many of these rounds wide open for TSM. And a pistol win here is obviously monumental. We might see Core again. I'm curious if they try and like force into a defensive outlaw again, but that makes that sort of first full buy round a little weaker for them. I might just be Sheriffs for the time being.
Yeah, it's right here. Because of that dark cover, Logan just doesn't see Timotino coming. He's able to isolate 2 1v1s.
I mean, yeah, it just so happens that at the time, Logan's turned back. Like he's getting back behind pipes and leaves that player a little exposed. Just a very small spacing issue. And it costs Core the round, undeniably. We've got a Marshall.
Darkest does love to bring in a second round Marshall / Outlaw.
Yep, saw it on the first half as well. This time, though, he's going for the slightly cheaper variant. Timotino, however, of course, straight to a scoped weapon. Darkest on a bit of an off angle here, wins out against Gimon, has to hit that headshot, and he does. That would have been an awkward correction there. And I like this wall play. I don't know if Core is going to be ready for it. Does spot him out, though. Timo around the corner. Eventually, Darkest gets shot by about 3 or 4 different people and has to give up the ghost. This is a player advantage up for TSM. But again, their comp, remember, they don't have a Sage Wall to play with. They really just have to fight for this space after their Viper Wall has done its job. And it's nothing to protect Vora from the spam that comes in from Logan.
As Shock Dart gets some damage off there as well. Seven just hoping to bait out some of these swings to feel some safety in the plant by maybe killing a player that gets too eager to face. Or
step up.
30 seconds.
delaying. Allen creeping forward.
Again! Oh, he's done it again, Wyatt! Timo now can't be happy with this result. Has to do it himself. And can't get there. Nerve with the classic will burn him down. That little corner angle. And TSM's composition, I don't know, probably requires them to be a bit more proactive in taking that snowman control. They can't just wall off the side. They don't have a cove. It's rough.
Logan just gets the perfect spam angles going through there. There was the shock dart as well. Oh my god, that's a crazy shot.
All right, here we go. Core able to fight back there in a round where it's mostly Sheriffs and a Marshall.
Dude, Allen has 20 kills, man. He's 20-7. What the hell, man? This is a crazy performance. About to be 21, I feel like. Okay, cursed. Hold on.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think you might be.
A 21st is on the way. Surely.
TSM though. I wonder if they expect him to still be here. Okay, the cloudburst dash is nice. It's going to force him down.
Any second now.
Tuesday. Win these 9 times out of 10. One would imagine. Whoa. Okay. There we go. Gets himself 2. Come on, 7 though. Clear the sight. There is some back snowman presence, and yeah, this time TSM know they need to fight a little bit deeper. They want to secure at least the extra cash from this plant. And, I see the shock dart for default. Slightly different plant location now as TSM set up and dig in. They've got themselves now a Vandal and an Outlaw for this post plant.
Yeah, that Outlaw looking more like a shotgun. So 7 is gone with the Sheriff.
Okay. Nerve here realizing the round might have just crumbled away. These guys are thrifting each other.
What?
Okay, man.
Oh man, that is a real rough. That is really rough. 7 just got some crazy timing to run into the smoke with the Sheriff and kill Delin. Gets to the Outlaw. Yeah, right here. What is happening? What is happening, man? But the timings on these swings just, yeah, you know, a little bit off. Just 1v1s being taken. The player from Snowman from Core wasn't really there in time to be able to capitalize off of 7 taking that fight, having the crosshair upwards. It is devolving into chaos on the B side, Mitch.
So much play inside those smokes. Not really what Core want to opt into, considering they had vastly better weaponry, but we're going to have to let that one go. So 2 players and a trademark watching this push up mid. Gimon here is going to let the game come to him. Nerv is just going to walk up into this. I don't know. Oh, how you win that in the window. Able to respond just in time. Gimon a little bit slow to the trigger finger, apparently.
And looking at the minimap, oh my god, what a shot from Logan. But a limb is pushed. Oh, wow, Vor catches Darkest before the res. That was huge.
No, surely. 7 quickly ducks out of the way. Paranoia, though, doesn't connect. Briefly decayed down, and here's Alpha. This is about as scrappy as it gets. The Muddy Men reach up from the depths.
But Alim is so fast on this flank. He was in B main so early.
Surely you're looking for it, though. There is an alarm bot there. Note that. Obviously, couldn't be triggered. Okay, 7 just got slapped, man. All right. Very hard to project how these rounds are supposed to go. These 2 teams hitting each other where it hurts, and back-to-back-to-back rounds. Core have evened up the game. They've got it closer. 2 rounds in it, and that's an important one.
I mean, this is turning into a straight-up brawl game on Icebox. Alim had gotten all the way down B main so early in that round, so you just saw all of Core sprinting into that A site to fight together. This was a nasty shot from Logan.
Just pretty heavy fighting inside these sites. It's something the TSM have to be ready for. That paranoia, unfortunately for 7, is just very hard to hit at that range. Goes down very, very low in that fight with Alum. So 21-8 for Alum on this chamber. Suffice to say, he's dragging the boys, kicking and screaming. He's pushed up. I love this variation, but he's spotted. It's an easy pick off for Timo. A bit of a gamble to take there for Alum, and something that TSM threw in plenty themselves. But there's still this space to control. And that player out towards Snowman definitely has to be a concern for TSM as they try and plant.
Here comes that shock into the Hunter's Fury, trying to sync that up. That's pretty sick.
Gimon fortunate to be up on green. Almost felt like everyone was going to get a taste of the Hunter's Fury at one point.
I mean, this is the exact situation, again, where TSM have failed to be able to get the spike down. Core are delaying them. They're getting spam kills. They've got them surrounded on B. So it might come down to Alvin being able to catch a timing to do something on the flank when Core are occupied with plant denial. Nerv is again set up for this shock dart lineup. 7 is actually susceptible to getting killed by it if it you know, hits him directly on the head.
What?
With the spike?
With the spike! Okay. And at no point is there any consideration about maybe like a cancel over towards the A side of the map. Alvin isn't able to push up deep enough in there, but there is an Omen ult in play. So now the spike is out in the open. Alvin could try and bank it in Nanoswarm, I guess, but that is a tough job. And it falls apart. TSM know their mandate is to push up and take a fight. They need to clear Snowman. But once again, it turns out to be the thorn in their side. It's the biggest point of difference between these comps. Like they have that, they have that ability. They need to go and fight forward. They have the duelists of Timatino. They've got to control that space. No wall available to them, but it's got to be a timeout here. Things are getting a little messy, and I think MBK needs to chime in.
Core have done a really great job of denying the early plant when TSM are initially getting into the site. And then after the fact, TSM just have not had the plan B. They're just try and wait for the smokes to cycle back up for 7, for the energy on the Viper wall to come back up, and they're just continuing to be denied. And at that point, all of the Core team are there. They've been doing a great job at defending that B site. There needs to be an adjustment from TSM late. They need to have some kind of exit plan or something more proactive happening on the flank so that the players who are, close up on B can maybe fight a little more aggro, or they need to try and get that plant deeper into the site, because continuing to just try and put it down on default is actually ruining them at this point. Like, they're taking way too much damage from the shocks. They're getting spammed aggressively from Snowman, not on that round, but on a prior in the same situation.
Okay. quick correction, of course. That's Coach NBS, pardon me, who's actually coaching from Lithuania, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, wrong acronym. Might be. At length.
Other idea, Mitch.
Yep.
Just slam A. Honest Icebox gameplay. Just slam the A site.
I don't hate it.
And Alvin Boy,
slowed up.
he does have the lockdown to put over by 410, get everyone off the site, get that free plant, play a little post-plant action.
Maybe just, yeah, a back to brass tacks kind of round for TSM. It's an inflection point. Neither team has a stable economy at all. So really, potentially work through this one.
You should run.
Tuesday, they're up on Rafter.
They get that lockdown in very deep. Don't often see it placed there.
The idea is, okay, so tries to get a Viper's Pit that does envelop the plant location. That has to be stepped into so that the K will be active. All right. Well, at attack side, lockdown now.
God,
on the
the
table.
shocks, man.
Yeah,
Nerve is so good with those.
Okay, so Tuesday in the pit, but currently get involved in the fight from here. TSM more than happy to brawl out, despite the fact finally get themselves a plant. So able to clear the way at first. But there's Alvin. That is a crucial pick-off. That's Nerve down, causing headaches. With his ability to send those shocks in, and Tuesday just has to step out of the pit. Now he's exposed, and they kind of know where he is. It's a process of elimination. Out of the pit, into the corner by Jen, and easily snapped up. Logan here's got it all to do, and he opens well. Alvin Boy had 3 in the round. 4 out. Check that, son. And now Kimon, who's had some unlucky encounters in this game, has to win this one out. He knows, sees the barrel, and converts. A very important round for TSM, and conversely, well, it's a gut punch for Core.
This game is just developing into chaos. Just so many 1v1s happening across the board, especially towards the end of that round.
You know what?
But TSM, a little bit back to
Valorant.
basics, but guys, we can't. It's time to just plant in weird locations. We gotta stop planting default because you're going to die to these shocks from Nerve. Get out the way. We gotta plant somewhere else.
Yeah, we saw that actually on their one of their B rounds earlier, right? They planted right up on the crow's nest as opposed to on the edge of the box. Now, I'm surprised they're not sort of maybe working another extremity of the map a little more just because of that from the shadows active for 7. But they might just want to get a good plant here. Stick a Viper's Pit. Wasn't considered necessary in the prior. Here's that Aldrone first. Dark is playing it pretty close. Slow orb though, more stall. 1 minute and 13 here. So much of that util being drawn out of Core. But that's what they have to hang their hat on in this round because of course it's just 2 sheriffs to speak of.
Wall going to be thrown down. Darkest boosts up. I'm going to assume maybe poke through that smoke a little bit. Timotino going to activate off the back of that kill.
All right, so they dropped down a Bora, but he's able to avoid the shot in from Logan. Be a dangerous spot to be in now. That dark cover is a real problem back in the corner. And Timo peers over the top of it. Nerve. Oh my goodness, Nerve. What is that? 3 with the sheriff, and Allen brings the tour de force to bear. Yet another ridiculous Thrifty in a series of them. Core clamber back to a 1-round game. Jesus, Nerve. Come on, brother.
Nerve is playing a hell of a defensive half. That's the 3rd Thrifty now in this game. Very Challengers coded. I would love to see a replay of that. What is happening in the backside there? How has he gotten 3 kills? How has he done that?
Not quite sure. Yeah, with the sheriff of all things. That was 3 classic 2 sheriff round. That's Thrifty as you're going to get at the moment. TSM, that's got to be frustrating. And boy, their economy takes a hit. Looking to play in the Viper's Pit though, won't quite hurt. Lucky time for Timotino! Dark is ready for him, goes low, but able to heal himself up in a pinch. Alvin's trying to get there, but doesn't have the weaponry to seal the deal. Dimon wants to brawl, fight it out. The shock dart onto 7.
No.
That is the 2nd time in 2 days I think I've seen that from Vora. Now, I could be attributing that incorrectly to a different player. But either way, not great. Vora gets himself a chance to redeem. But this, folks, is an even map.
I mean, Timotino was pretty close to getting that kill, though, not gonna lie. He was down to 10 HP. I respect the attempt on that one, for sure. The dash-in Bucky, but unfortunately, then the desperation to kill Darkest set in, so he just gets a 1v1 setup to fight another player.
I mean, he hits him with the old 140.
Oh, yeah,
not his fault. He doesn't know.
No, not even Vor's fault.
Just, that is
Seven just has
unfortunate.
a weak vertical leap. Unlucky.
I'm pretty sure bro still knows ball. Seven had a great start to this map. Looked great yesterday with mostly with odor and abuse, but we won't hold that against him. And that's just one of those moments. Not much you can do about it. Definitely can't put the blame on the Sova.
Yeah.
So,
Odin abuse, that's just the world we live in.
yes, it's fine. I mean, at every level of play, Alvin actually gets an early advantage here on the A side of the map. Can he convert off this? There it is. 2Z down to 100 Fury. This time, Vora strikes true. Bit of William Tell for you. But Nerve still holds this ever-problematic snowman position that TSM have grappled with extensively. And of course, with that 7 in play, it's not as simple as TPing that spike to a different part of the map. TSM just want to cut noise a little bit here. Maybe have Nerve move to a less advantageous position. Now to explore A. Still got a whole minute to work with.
Yeah,
They're
now
gonna push into an open
TSM.
site.
Ooh, Darkest, you need to live, my friend. Now TSM, they're totally fine with just running over to A because they feel like if they do, there's a chance Darkest just goes for a res there, but he's not going to. Core want to fight this.
Nerve to rafters already. Default plant. No nerdy shocks left, unfortunately, for the Sova player. Nerve is noted as he tries to move out here, so there's a double face setup lying in wait, and now Darkest has to convert. Nice kill on Vora. Now it's the lower health Alvin to contend with. Timo, Alvin, and Gimondo all still standing. It's an all but impossible situation. Fortunately for Core, though, that Thrifty round they picked up is going to come back and reward them some dividends. Still able to buy here easily enough. Still a res to hand. Try and keep that tempo going.
Good from TSM to pull out of that B site that time and, not fully commit to it as they did on some of the prior rounds, even though, it was just up against 2 opponents. They make the smart call, get out of there.
It's a bit of a Darkest highlight reel for you guys.
I was looking to see if Alan was going to be bought the op on this round. That is going to be the case. Wants to play aggro towards B main. Should be Jeromed off the line, though. At least TSM are hoping to do that if he is posted up here, but dodges it, it seems.
He's hanging out. It's a really close angle, though, and he doesn't know that a couple players have already crept up. There is an angle here. 4 losers out. And then, of course, the rendezvous right away. 2Z, though, takes some incidental sort of strays. Drop to 60. 7 has to step up here. TSM geared up to fight, but again...
Oh, no. Nerve is getting in the position. He's getting in the shock dart position.
He thinks twice about it. Slow warp here will be avoided. Yeah, Alvin just sitting on the other side of it. Telegraph that maybe Dark is not expecting a tuck on that corner. Definitely expecting some movement into mid. First shot, though, goes wide. And Alvin's able to get back, but this is all telegraphed. This is all over. Clear vision for Darkest. So a bit of backup on that one. Timo's pushed up. Tuzi, though, back towards mid. No pressure really from Alvin in that part of the map. And Timo has gone down. Tuzi just found him through the pit. A pre-plant Viper's pit actually allowed Alan to get in. But Gimon quickly slaps him back. And Alvin's patience is rewarded in mid. That's Logan off the table.
Now TSM just need to convert with this pit active. They made good decisions up until this point. Darkest wants to go for the res. Honestly, just a bit of bait. GMT exposed. Pick on the drop.
It's on Alvin here. He's late to the fight, already halved, and I think he realizes there's just no world in which he can get involved. There's the defuse, and in a flurry, Core go 3 for 0 in picks and take the round. Frustrating stuff for TSM. Still buy potential here, but this one's going straight down to the wire.
It seemed like they were making, all the right decisions up until a point. They were slowing the game down. And then they go back in, get that pit. They try to plant deep so they're not susceptible to the shock dart damage. It's just JMD getting caught stepping out of the pit, not aware that he was fully exposed to that upper side here.
Oh,
yeah, thought that poison cloud was obscuring the view on him.
Yeah, he was mistaken. So that operator stays in play for Core. TSM here mostly bought up. Looks like a tap at the TP here of 7. Might have just been for info.
Logan has gone for a very fast teleport over towards that A side because the rest of Core or rather a couple other players, they've taken that full B main control, so they're 100% expecting this finish to come on the A side.
Yeah, there it is, Alum again with an open pro. I don't know how many kills the guy's got, but I think he's pretty dominant so far. 23 rounds, he's probably up almost to 30 in regulation. It's been filthy. Still, that trademark is cleared through mid. That's definitely going to furrow the brow a little bit of core, but TSM, as has been revealed now with that recon, are still committed to this A play. Now, here's the TP. Stuck?
Oh my
Question
God.
mark?
Yeah, 7 is in spawn. GMD is on the B site. It's madness. It is absolute madness for TSM. They're trying to now plant on A while 2 their members are playing mini games.
Teammate space though. And that's cope. Might sound like cope, but it is crucial. TSM had to find a way to fight for that A space, and they got it, but now Gimon has to get active. He needs to find a pick here. I think he saw the barrel of Alum just sticked around a corner. And he's got him! What a timing to find. Now things get a little bit dicey, but Tuzi's been on that late reflank and is catching out Vora. Timo's down to 2. Gimon now, his position's been given away, but he still wins out another fight, and what a time to come alive. Tuzi has got to now take matters into his own hands. Play it close here. There'll be a high-low swing. Surely he doesn't win this out. And Gimon comes to the rescue. Puts TSM 1 round away from taking the map.
TSM just inject some maxed out chaos into a round that looked almost, I don't want to say unwinnable, but like very low likelihood that they could win from the position they were in. 7 just, I mean, the teleport into the spawn is crazy, and then GMD is on the late reflank. But really, at core, they get those 2 kills. They have the man advantage, but then 2 of them just end up taking isolated fights. Timatino gets 1, Vora gets an isolated fight over on screens that he wins. Core had the advantage to win out that round, but players just get a little bit ahead of themselves and things spiral.
Alum this time doesn't have the luxury of playing this angle with the off, but will still approach it similarly. Bladestorm doesn't quite connect. There's a very quick rendezvous out of that position. Timo now is set up. Eyes towards screen, sees the player dart across. There's a smoke as well. So TSM have fought effectively for this space, and they've made sure of it. A pretty darn good round for the lockdown to come up. And they'll be embedded now, ready to fight for the map.
A big win con for Core now is trying to get back into this site and get the pit down. TSM want to deny them of the ability to ever use that Viper's pit by just fighting in the site together right now.
Timo's going to back up to a bit of a weaker position, though. Now up close, wall thrown up by Darkest. I love it. It's cheeky. Can he do something about this? Yes, Timo around the corner. Gimon going to trade things out, and now things falling in a screaming heap. It's only 7 left to try and salvage things, and Logan is too sharp with it. I'm here for it. Take us to some overtime. Core, after 24 rounds, still alive in this game. And these guys are throwing down early. This is a far cry from TSM showing against Cubit Academy on this map yesterday.
That was a great retake. They pick off that flanking member from TSM, and then they just hit the gas into the site with all 5 players, the wall being placed to apply some pressure onto the spike to force TSM to have to fight out. Is really nice. Darkest realizes Timatino is caught. Super well played.
All right, let's run it back. Alum at 25-13 after 24 rounds. Stunning performance. Timo not allowed to run away with the game as he was yesterday. No more 480 ACS showing, but still solid involvement. Gimon really coming alive as well in the later part of that second half.
Last cannon operator in the hands of Timatino wants to get very proactive with it. Down 2 off the top of the round.
Gimon respects the Al drone here. Naturally, the one way will still be in play. Ideally to slow TSM down, rather core down. Still info gathering here. Timo's watching the cross of mid.
And that's, that's heads up from him because Core have been playing this 4-1 with a late cross from Alum in mid. So he wants to take advantage of this pattern of play that they've had.
Sage wall was already committed, and there was no clear of the nanoswarm there. So that wall is gappy already. Darkest has to try and find a way to plant despite this. And Gimon, of course, wants to try and exploit that open partition. Alvin swings on high, but Core are ready for him. Gimon here still, though, on timing. He has it. Oh, such a good timing! Oh, Nerve! Tough, really. Tuzi not watching the right angle, and Core just a little bit limited in terms of their coverage. Alum just loses out of Gimon. Get another 3-piece from him. All right, talk about late bloomer. This guy is absolutely pounding.
GMD is such a beast. This year has been so consistent, so good for TSM for so long. Was quiet on this map, and now at the very end of it is just going absolutely crazy. Multi-kills that are keeping them in the game, now possibly going to put them in position to win OT. They just need this last round. How on earth did they recover this? I mean, that's
not a green.
We didn't see it, but somehow Alum also just deleted Timotino in mid, who was opping his cross. How on earth does that fall apart?
If Dimon actually turned on his poison orb as he made that swing, that's just incredibly heads up from him. Potentially Core didn't want to have a player in green because he'd have his vision obscured by that. Either way, that worked out unbelievably well. And so Alum now on defense, he himself, of course, takes the glass cannon off, but playing a little bit more up front than we saw from Timotino's mid-cross coverage. And it pays off once
nice
again.
Shot.
Alvin, I think he's been read.
So ready for that, our core. Love that decision. The three-man push. They know they're going to catch that solo player.
No chipmunks there to back him up either. Now, Gimon, again, stays hidden. Doesn't try and swing off Aura's contact.
Last player standing.
Oh, he's going to have to do some dirty, dirty things. Alum will at least be a kill that he takes. Trigger discipline, it is there. Oh, it's there! Logan Jackson instead. Gimon tries to rat his way out of that round, but by that point, the deck was stacked against TSM.
I was just waiting. I knew it was only a matter of time until you gave us an Alvin and the Chipmunks reference.
Dude,
every time he's in the server, but map 1 OT, we're getting it already.
I survived until I lasted until OT. I'm like that kid in the meme of the kid in the classroom with the veins sticking out on his head, like holding his breath. I deserve a medal of honor for that. I did, and I cast the guy yesterday. Not a peep. Not
really.
And I was with someone who would not only allow the cringe but invite it, and I didn't do it. I'm basically a Shaolin monk, actually.
Now, map 2 banned, but map 3 you can go for another cooldown. Yeah, there's a cooldown time on that joke, but you can run it back later.
Damn, bro, I did not get here with the low-hanging fruit, bro. I just sprinkle it in every now and then. Either way,
oh my God.
Active early this time. Player advantage for TSM is at least Timo is going to be able to fall back this time, not opting for the glass cannon. Instead, wants to be armored and ready to throw down. Ooh. Close, but no cigar on the snake bite. Tuesday with the default plant.
All of core kind of relegated to that back yellow and B main position now. This is super dangerous. There's a flank coming through as well, but they do have the trip to cover it, at least for now.
All this over you, Till. All of it. Still
dark cover thrown over the trip on the flank.
That is dirty. Seven's going to get up here. Oh, the deck is, like I said, really standing against core this time around. Seven can walk up here. Yep, he's the Joker. That TSM draw.
What?
And yeah, on the river, Logan's able to find a quick double. That's 3. There's going to be a defuse at some point, but time isn't quite there. 7 salvages just in time. And once more, TSM successful on the... Wait, no!
I was waiting. I'm like...
I wasn't listening to the beat, brother. God
nah, he ain't got that, bro. I'm going to let you do your thing, but nah, he ain't have that one. Took a little bit too long to get back over there. Took a little bit too long.
That is so sick from Logan.
That was a filthy play from Logan. A vile play. A disgusting play.
Yeah.
What is that, bro? He was moving. He started moving. I saw him. He pressed the D key, Mitch, and it still connected the headshot.
Yeah.
It's not how it's supposed to work.
And yet,
the game is flawed. And yet we play it. And yet we won't stop playing.
Here comes TSM now to try and stay in their map pick of Icebox. Just a disastrous end. And there's been a lot of these multi-kills off timings or just inexplicable series of events. Or for Darkest on the boost, he's more often than not doing this. This time, though, he isn't going to be spammed through. Like, Yamon is he's expecting it at this point. Will we see the barrel here? No, I think he's not quite lining up for TSM. And they're hitting the S key instead.
Now, that being said, they don't have the smallest bit of information as to what's going on B. So for all they know, Alum could be pushed all the way down right now. they'd have to re-clear heavily to
that
get
is
back on that part of the map.
That's textbook. The noise cart into
So
contact
curious. He's too curious.
Yeah. All right. Outside of killing cats, TSM have now made their way over towards the B side.
30 seconds left.
And all of them en masse here. Now, of course, can sort of get off this line, but again, just lingers a little bit too long. He's brought down here, and so TSM are gonna make this a little bit of a slobber knocker of a game, rather, folks. We are heading for, yeah, potentially a 29th, maybe even more, round of Valorant on Icebox. Both teams looking to work those jitters out early, but we've gone all the way to the line. And of course, folks, no prospect of saving here. It doesn't make any sense. Core have got to go for it, but they can't feel good about it. In an oppressive position, having to swing that Viper wall. Gimon ready, waiting, willing. Nerve have been taken down, but went low in the process. Here we go, folks. 14 apiece. We go again.
It is just getting a little chaotic. Felt like in, you know, Darkus kind of making a play where it's like he wants to end the game in that moment, you know, like doing something a little bit more active than recommended. It's not like I don't think they desperately needed further info in that moment, you know. We continue.
Predicts a 20-18 scoreline. Maya, how do you feel about that?
If it goes 20-18, she can cast map 2, and I'm going to go get lunch. That's how I feel about that. And she can't have part of my day rate either.
That's crazy, bro. Yeah, that's
a long... All right, Timatino. Nice little first kill.
Alvin is going to hear this. Not the walk up tube, per se, but some of that action through mid. Wall once again in kitchen, so you better believe that the Core have staked their claim to this part of the map, and TSM will just try and contain them. Alvin not really sure where to look. Concerned about a push up mid, and Darkus second guesses himself, doesn't fully check it, but Logan is in the tube spot. So at least they get something for their troubles here, but they've explored very little of the map. They got shut down on that play up mid, and now they're probably priced into a late A finish.
Shadows traveling. Seven just got himself tucked in the corner, playing over towards Jen, and because he does not have any teammates currently, going to reposition to a safer location, and I like that. I am a fan of that decision. TSM could just play to the man advantage retake, play to the trades as the win
30
con.
seconds left.
Keep things textbook.
Here's Tuzi now. Core. Oh. All right, maybe a jitter there or something. Regardless, we got TSM coming back in here. Shocked out for Vora can be expelled, and of course that paranoia is up for 7. Timo low here, likely to be the decoy. Paranoia on towards that plant spot, but no follow-up quite yet. TSM have got a little bit of time to work with, but you'll notice Nerve has managed to get back towards that belt position. They're going to fight for it hard. This puts Nerve now in a almost impossible situation. Spam down on the planter, but he shows himself with the traces. Of course, Vandal in hand. Shocked out, avoided by Timatino. Gimon sitting back. We do have a kill of the diffuser, though. This time, I'm not going to get ahead of myself. Gimon has managed to convert, and TSM one away from taking the map.
Not gonna lie, I was believing in Nerve for a moment there. He still had shock darts. There were weak players. I was believing. But TSM do a great job just getting back into that site.
Match point.
That face that they had, multiple players, like the double drop synced up with the other guy coming out rafters and the swing from screens at the same time. That was all timed very, very well to just overwhelm the site players.
Really?
Hey, that's crazy. That's crazy work.
You guys don't want to play the 30th round of this map now? All right, well,
crazy work.
We'll try and let you know what the cause of this tech pause is when we find out. But
someone going to the bathroom?
Yeah, you know what?
It's been a long map. I think it's possible. That would be my number 1 guess, honestly.
Maybe we've encountered just a critical error that requires the map to be replayed. What are your thoughts?
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Can't roll it back in OT after 30 rounds. All right, well, we'll be chilling for the time being, of course. Still in overtime, folks. We have had a lot of back and forth, I think is evidenced there by the score ticker. But TSM once again take this game to advantage.
Oh yeah, I'm getting word from Dryad in the production Discord that we are going to be replaying the whole map, Mitch. That is some big news.
Oh man, yeah. Moves is getting to work. I respect it. So this will put TSM on that attack side there.
Moobs has cut the power line to the core house.
Bro's there himself. He's basically gotten into the gated community, dressed as, of course, a power technician, like he's James from Team Rocket on a Pokemon episode, right? And he's got there with his toolbox. He's just snip. Here. Sorry, boys. Better luck next time. Bro, did us 3 people on core haven't bought? Okay, we have some movement. I do see, unlike Ninja, I do see some movement out there. This is good.
Yeah, they are jumping around. So keyboards are working. All right. If we're going to try to deduce what's going on here, that doesn't seem to be the issue.
Saved by the highlight reel. Yeah, this from Logan. Yeah, like was mentioned, is a little bit uncanny. And yapping too loud at that point to hear the tempo of the beeps, but Seven did not have enough time to convert that round. And yeah, Gimond, I think, definitely the story of this overtime, at least a big part of what has allowed TSM to get there. We just saw that play up mid, pretty big investment from core that falls flat because Alvin Boy ends up being in a bit of a ratty location. It gets traded out. So the call is that the game is lagging for a couple of players. Yeah, that's the call.
Unlucky. We will wait it out.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no more undiscovered fauna on this map to actually give people facts about. Myself and Van spent an extended period of time discussing the avian species.
Oh, did you? I mean, I could find that 100 Thieves coach application and tell you all about Icebox.
Oh my god! Can we have a dramatic reading of that? I want a dramatic reading of the. Yeah, we've got to split it up though. We've got to actually. We could turn it into a screenplay. I'm almost certain about it. So still, I mean, I'm filming for MBS, bro. That has got to be late out there in Lithuania.
I found an actual. Oh, I found the actual 100 Thieves coaching call.
Really?
That's not what I'm looking for.
Oh. Okay, it's like that, huh? I got distracted by the Demon Hunter collab. I didn't even see that. How about you? You gonna apply again, bro?
Wait, I've just I'm unearthing all kinds of 100 Thieves coaching applications. I just can't find the one that has the info about Icebox. Where's that one at? I can't find it.
Yeah, that sucks. I mean, surely it hasn't been exposed.
Where is this?
We're gonna find it.
I mean, I'm finding just other people's attempts at becoming their coach, and I wish them the best, but.
All right. We're going to find it. In the meantime, we're going to a break because something's going to get said that gets us fired at some point, or we start conversing with you guys in the chat. So stick around. We'll be back, of course, hopefully for less pigeon watching, more face shooting. This, of course, is Valorant Challengers.
Icebox was released on October 13th, 2020 as a part of Valorant's Episode 1 Act 3 update. The map is set in Bennett Island. Are we going to a break or do I keep talking? Production?
Bro, seriously?
I was hoping we were getting sent to a break as I was talking for the bit. You know what I mean?
That would be funny because I was throwing to the break.
Yeah, exactly. So I was hoping that's what happened, but I'm not sure what we actually did.
No, I'll throw to a break. Okay, we'll be back here in a few minutes. We'll sort out the lag. I'll be back with some more of this lower final. Best 5, don't go too far, etc., etc.
The general shape of Valorant's Icebox map.
electronic invention I want you to see.
We got to the point where we can control the laws of nature by advanced electronics.
Timmy, you finally woke up after that coma for 3 years? Well, TSM and Core are still playing. You haven't missed anything. That's right. Round number 30 is coming at you. TSM 1 round away from taking it, but it's been frothy. It's been back and forth, and it's been far from convincing from either side, Wyatt. We are jumping back in. Timo once again has the glass cannon up.
Yep, as he did back in round 27. That was in 2022. Oh.
Oh, you're kidding me. Des. Oh, Timmy, you can go back to sleep. You can go.
No
let me just help you with the gas here, brother. Yep, you're good. You're
There's
good.
No way.
Yeah. Okay. So we've had confirmation, obviously, the lag issues had it subsided. Now, we're on the tournament realm here, folks, so different to what your experience is generally. But looks like we're still having those issues. So we're probably going to tread water here for a little bit and then jump back out as we still are dealing with some of those lag issues.
Should I read some excerpts from The Hobbit to keep us entertained?
Yeah. So you say that like you have the book to hand, do you?
It's about 3 feet away from me. I could go get it if you want.
I think we're good. We'll use this as an opportunity to update you guys on what's been happening. I don't know. There it is. That's your update. Still waiting. So we're going to go to another break. We're going to get these guys going when we can. Obviously, it's not a player side issue, guys. It is server side. So sometimes these are a little bit harder to diagnose. So feet up. I'm going to fire up a game of Persona 5X. And we'll see you after this. Hey, so we're back. Thanks for sticking with us up until this point. We had to play DC just as the timer hit 0 on that last attempt, but third time's a charm. We are into the round. Here we go, folks. TSM on the attack side, 15 to 14.
Let's see if TSM will close this out or if Dan Dryad will be correct and we'll be going to a 2018 scoreline. They have gone for the attacking glass cannon op, by the way.
Okay, we did see this from Alum actually pretty extensively. Not so much Timo, though. Pretty far forward play. This is going to be spotted by the Alvarin, so good due diligence being applied. But it still means that this part of the map is denied of TSM until they fight for it. Timo, bear in mind, glass cannon, double swing here, surely. But getting the op onto that line is what's risky business with no armor. Timo's going to do it, though. And Alum will remain tucked. So not a lot to see here. And obviously, TSM's composition only features that paranoia, which is in the hands of 7, a long way away. After that, they are flashless. And they're going to try, and they run headlong into the brick wall of Alum.
The TSM had absolutely nothing to get out of B main after using the drone, and then they send the recon. It gets broken. Just try to dry peek. Not advised. They get punished for it. 30 seconds. The spike is in spawn. I mean, I'm going to assume they're going to try to end B here. They're pushed up all the way to yellow. That wall is up right now. 7 is going to have a smoke to cover the cross from Snowman when the wall drops.
Gimon was not spotted doing that, I don't think. No, he was. Okay, Tuzi saw just a little bit of him. He has to fight forward in some way. Viper wall, no longer a factor. Okay, Alvin up on the corner here. The drop down from Gimon, but Gimon and Alvin already finding themselves 1 each. Would have evened up the numbers. The Darkest not intervened, and there's still a player sitting well back at Snowman. 7 here has to impromptu set up some smoke architecture and get hunting. And essentially hoping for a bit of a timing here. His teammate obviously is holding from yellow, but with no armor. Last cannon has to go to work, and there is Alum. It is all on Timotino, folks. Armorless. Plenty of aura to work with, though. Let's see how far it gets him. Nervous dealt with, but now 2 players up on the site. Need to reload after this shot, but it's not going to be needed as a tour de force was earned and used in this round. QOR even it up again. 30 rounds of Valorant. Still no victor on Icebox.
The TSM comp and their little foray towards B main just did not have the utility required to get through there scot-free. You just drop one to Alum, who has 32 kills now. That's a lot of kills. And from there, they're just working at a man disadvantage. They almost wrangle things back, but Alum continues to be able to just find the necessary trades, and crucially wins that 1 versus 1 against 7. Who'd done a decent job trying to protect himself on the side with the smokes, was getting cover, that drone broken, but it just did not matter.
Back we go. There was a ping there early. 7 fighting for that space. Logan tried to get up on pipes. Probably didn't expect the Omen to be hanging around for so long. So off to the races we are. But it's a slightly hampered squad of Core that tentatively approaches A side of the map for good reason. Oh, goodness. Vora with God knows what in his hands there. I don't even want to know. Not ready to fight for it. And Alvin and Gimon have to find a way to salvage. And there's already the Sage Wall in play. And this feels like we're headed to Core advantage. Almost guaranteed. We need some serious heroics right now. And Allen finds another multi-kill round. It's 7 kills in 2 rounds for the man. And up with Core, 1 away from taking it.
Switching sides.
Yeah, he's kind of just having an all-star performance, isn't he? Now with 35 kills, that is crazy. TSM going to take that timeout.
I mean, geez, the highest kill total I've seen in overtime, I want to think back, it was like Icebox on Lotus last year at 37. Definitely with the potential to get there. This is just the first map of this series, to be clear. So that is exactly just how much has already transpired. And timeout called by TSM. Want to try and fight, keep this game going in the 32nd round of play. I mean, the fatigue sets in here, and you have to hope to take some energy into the rest of this series. A best of 5 for a spot in that final. Now, TSM already have that 2nd seed locked up. 130 points, circuit points is what they'd have if they lose here. But obviously, Core need to win the final to stay in 2nd seed. And this game, they just need to win this one to qualify. It's a question of, Winthrop and Core with the outcome of this game. And must be nice for Core to have their destiny in their own hands. And so far, they've made use of it. This is brilliant from Alum here. Just the timing. Just simple as that.
Yeah, by the
Another
way,
sick round.
Bear in mind, this is TSM's map pick, and they beat Qbert 13-1 yesterday on it. So for Core to even be making it this close on a map that you definitely give to TSM on paper, still a pretty sick way to start the series, even if they can't close it out. But they've got the opportunity to do so right now on defense. Allen pressed up a little bit towards A, playing forward. Has that trip over towards B main. So Core don't have to pay too much attention to it. You could see their 2 players more drifted towards mid, not needing to worry about anything towards yellow until this trip is actually broken.
Interesting Sage Wall application this time around. Deny one of the ways through mid. Logan, of course, can watch the other. So a little bit tough for TSM to work a split of any kind here. But they can still drift across mid. That Poison Orb will allow for this movement over towards A. But very little has been done to open this up. Alvin's been playing very, very carefully. So TSM walking into this pretty blind, very limited info. And Alum is going to do the same thing he's done almost every round in this spot. Just play here for the opener, but he's on the move. He opts to push up at what could have been an inopportune time, but he still converts as the orb is being taken. TSM are going to go for it now. Cat is well and truly out of the bag. Trying to cover that with this smoke, of course, towards rafters. Get the plant at least, but they're going to have to go with that, Timo.
Pretty insane that GMD is able to get a pit right now. What? I mean, just round the world, getting the orbs, getting the plant, doesn't even have a kill. So TSM can absolutely win this out now.
That is... Okay, that's pretty astonishing. All those old orbs gobbled up. It's at the cost of Timo there. That's what allows it to be picked up. Nerve, though, deals a death blow to Vora. That's the other Sova off the map. And Alvin is a little bit too slow. 7's tucked in here by a slow orb. Can't even get him one. And to Gimon, the person who put the pit up in the first place, is to fight within it. In a 1 versus God knows how many. Over the defuse here, and Core have locked it up, folks. TSM, a devastating result after a very strong first half. They really got ahead on defense, but they are ground into dust in this banger of an extended game. Core win TSM's map pick, looking very, very good. And Alum just unbelievable.